Okay, so a little bit ago, I posted a short clip of what we do is some of learning our multiplication table. I printed this offline along with the other two here, and we use them just to play games. I printed it off on regular paper, and I just used two 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and taped them together here. We just use Lego pieces as our game pieces, and you'll need a dice, and it gives you the option to print off the multiplication cards, or you can buy a set at the Dollar Tree, either way. And then each one of these different squares that you see has a card, as you can see, that correlates with it. And they're the different things that you use to build in Minecraft. So the idea is to collect one of every one of those cards. So at the beginning of the game, you choose where each person chooses where they want to start from, and you roll a dice. So I've rolled 3, and if I'm green, you keep all of your cards turned over like this. So if I'm green, I would draw a card. The multiplication problem is 5 times 8. So the answer is 40. If I answer correctly, then I get to move 3 spaces and collect the card that goes along, and I believe that one's iron. It is. I collect the card that goes along with the space that I landed on. If I draw my card and I don't know the answer, then I lose my turn. I don't get to move ahead the 3 spaces and collect the place that I landed on. So that's how that would work. Then once you have all of the game pieces collected, one of every card, you have to roll until you get back to the center section. When you get back to the center section, the way I do it is you have to answer 4 multiplication problems in a row. You can choose something different. If you have a struggler, you could just do one multiplication table. As they get a little more familiar and get better with their multiplication tables, you could up that. That's just how we choose to do it here. The next thing I have is, I know a lot of people have played this game similar to this, but we used to play, when I was a kid, each person just took a turn putting a dot on the paper, and then when you drew your lines, then you would be able to get that square. So for instance, I might draw a line here, and then he might draw a line here, and each time you draw a line, in order for you to get to draw your line, you would draw a card. So for instance, if you drew 7 times 9, you would have to answer 63 in order to get to draw your line on the paper. So once you got that square, you would move on and just keep going and going and going and going. And it's who will capture the most squares. So you could play that different ways. My son pretty much knows his multiplication tables. So a lot of times what we will do is, if you could draw a line and get the 4 square, if there was 3 lines here and this was the last one, I would ask him a multiplication table that starts with a 4. So for instance, if it was his turn and he was going to draw 1 line to make the square, I would ask him, what's 4 times 3? And if he could answer 4 times 3 is 12, then he would draw the line, and then he would get to put an X in the color that he's writing with. So that's how we would play that game. It's really fun, and it takes a long time. And sometimes we would stretch this one out and take a couple of days to play this one. And it says looking to practice multiplication facts. It says check out full square. So that's how we play it here. The next game is kind of like the Minecraft game. except for it's Pokemon. And I printed this one out the same on two 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, and I just taped them together. And actually what I'm planning to do is to put the games back to back and laminate them. So that way on this side it'll be Minecraft, and on this side it will be the Pokemon game. So the idea is the same. We use Lego pieces for our game pieces. We each choose where we want to go, and then you roll the dice. You draw your multiplication card, 2 times 9. If you answer correctly, you move the 5 spaces, and whichever one that you land on, you're actually collecting Pokemon. So that's what's happening here. You're actually getting to collect the Pokemon cards. So in order to win, you need to collect each one of the Pokemon cards in order to win. That correlates with each one of the squares. So that's an example of how we do some of our multiplications. You know, we do take times. If I had out his math notebook, we do have days where he actually writes the multiplication tables. You know, just for practice. You know, there's some days where I just ask him as quickly as I can. I don't always ask those in order. I mix it up, and you know, that way he's not just learning these in order. So I will come back a little further and give you a view of the whole paper there. The next one is the multiplication squares. And then the first one that I showed in the beginning was the Minecraft. Like I say, I just printed these, and I even printed the multiplication cards. But like I said, you can get those at the Dollar Tree and save yourself a little time and effort and printing and cutting. So I hope this helps. If anyone else has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. And we also play War, just with a regular deck of cards. He'll turn over a card. We split the cards in half. He'll turn over a card. I'll turn over a card. And whoever has the bigger number, so if I turn over a 6 and he turns over an 8, he has the bigger number, but he has to be able to answer 8 times 6. If he answers 8 times 6 is 48, then he gets the cards. But if he misses it, I get the cards. After you've gone through the whole deck, whoever has the most cards wins. So we do a lot of things like that. I have one more game that we play. If you're interested in that, I can do another video. Just let me know. And I hope this helps you guys out. And again, if you have any questions, I will be happy to help. Thanks a lot. Bye.